It is week 9, and today we got some insane fucking wide receiver news, and then we have our fringe running back and quarterback starts this week. So let's get into it. All right, today Randy and I, we're going to talk about these crazy, like a lot of crazy news, injury news came out like right when we were about to record this video. The first thing is the Keenan Allen. He suffered a setback to his hamstring during his freaking bye week, man. So Keenan Allen, is he done the rest of the year? Like what should you expect from Keenan Allen the rest of this year, pretty much?
If he were to come back healthy, like everyone was planning, I expected him to actually come out there and perform. But a setback during bye week to a hamstring, that he's an older receiver, it's like I'm super nervous if I'm an Allen owner. He could be done for the rest of the season.
Could be done for the rest of his career. Isn't he 30?
Yeah, he has to be at least 30 years old.
He doesn't think it's a restrain or anything. It's just some more scar tissue that's trying to break off. I'm going to let it do its own thing. He said he's unsure when he'll be able to return. But he wants to come back fully healthy without a snap count restriction. When he does, take the field for his next game. And what do we got here? More sleeper news while we're recording? No, Michael Thomas got moved to the IR, which is the next, or not the next story, but we'll get to that one. So, yeah.
Keenan Allen's already 30 years old, so next season he's going to be 31, pushing 32. It's
a rough road for Keenan Allen. He might be done for the year for redraft, which would really suck, and for Dynasty, extremely so. But the next one we got is Brandon Cooks. It came out today that he's healthy, and he's mad that he didn't get traded before the trade deadline, and he's not going to play tonight against the Eagles, even though they've got no Nico Collins also. So I don't know if he's going to get cut. Is there a way that he can even go to another team this year? Is he also done for the year now if he refuses to play for the Texans? Like, I'm really unsure. But either way, I'd be panicking if I have either of these receivers on my team.
Yeah, that's definitely not what you want to see. Like, there's so much excitement. I had excitement about Cooks being moved because I think he's a good receiver, and on the right team, he could really shine. But he's pissed, so they might not play him.
They might just cut him, right?
Yeah, but I don't think they're just gonna, like, if they're not gonna trade him to get something for him, they're not just gonna like let him have his way and just leave anyways. Like, they would have just traded him if they were gonna do that. They'll just
they might just send him
some other way. Yeah.
I think there's a way to trade a player that would clear waivers, but I doubt that he would clear waivers. So, and then we have some other horrible news. Michael Thomas going on the IR. He'll at least miss 4 more games. When's the last time Michael Thomas even played? Like, this is such a disappointing season for Michael Thomas, man. Such high hopes.
Yeah, and he had flashes of what he used to be, which makes it even worse because he comes back and looks good, and now he's just gone again. So
my fantasy team today
really there with these older receivers.
Hit that one with a thumbs up. Yeah, I mean, I don't have much Michael Thomas. I have him in one dynasty league, but it's rough. They didn't put him on IR for so long, and then they put him on IR now. It feels like they don't even really know what's going on with him, but Chris Olave all day, right?
Yeah, I mean, Chris Olave is just going to keep soaking in the targets, him and Alvin Kamara.
It could be good for Jarvis Landry if he can play, He might pick up that, like, the whole time slot role with Thomas out, so.
Yeah, I'm sure he's on the waivers in some leagues. Jarvis Landry, he's been
I'm sure. He's a decent little pickup then if he is, I would say. And then Rashad Bateman is the last crazy news injury we have. He's going to miss the rest of the season with that midfoot sprain. He's going to go ahead and get the Liz Frank injury or surgery for his injury, so sucks. I think he's a really good buy low candidate in Dynasty. He never really got going healthy this year, but I think if he ever does, I love his talent,
Oh yeah, me too. He could be another guy that just needs another year. I mean, obviously the injury and the surgery, but I thought he was ready to come and
me too
this year.
I'd for sure stay patient with Bateman if you have him, and if you're rebuilding, I think he's a great target for next season. Like, honestly, you can get him cheap right now, especially right after this injury news.
If you send somebody a second or a third, or just an aging receiver
in a second or something.
Yeah, something.
Keenan Allen.
Rebuild team. I think that ship is sailed for Keenan Allen. If you did not sell Keenan Allen
right before like Mike,
6 o'clock, yeah.
Mike got really lucky with that, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. It really, really, really helped his team. He dug himself a hole trying to win last year. And you never want to like mortgage your whole entire future to try to win one championship, because if it doesn't work, it stings so bad.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's move on to the actual point of the video, huh? We have a crap load of running backs to talk about, and then we have a few quarterbacks also. So let's just get started here. The first backfield is the Bears' backfield in Chicago, and we have David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert. So they're playing Miami this week. It's not as daunting of a matchup as we might have thought like earlier on in the season. So the matchup's not really the problem. The problem is you don't know who to play, you know? Like Demon's going to play the snaps. Like he's proved that. Like look at Herbert. 28% snaps, but he gets 16 carries, 99 yards, and a touchdown. Demon's playing 70% snaps with 15 carries and 53 yards. Herbert is just more efficient and better, but they're just relying on Montgomery for whatever reason. So this week, who would you start? Would you start both, either? And if you had both, what would you do?
That's a really really tough question, because it's hard to start Herbert over Demont given that he's only out there 30% of the
A
time.
lot of people probably have both, you know?
Yeah, a lot of people do have both, and it's a really sticky situation because you're gonna make a decision where you start the guy with all the volume, and then Herbert runs for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns off of like 12 carries,
Which is
and
for
that
sure
just
possible.
yeah. So you can't start both of them either at the same time. So you pretty
No,
much have to.
one
I
or the
would
other. Trade one.
suggest trying to trade one of them
Yep.
so you can get yourself out of that situation.
I'll try to trade Montgomery. People will probably like him better with his volume, but you never know.
If people might like Montgomery's name and volume, and then if Herbert does take the job, you have that upside, but you
So,
still already have what you would have anyways with Herbert, you know?
so you would start Montgomery then over Herbert this week, or?
I personally wouldn't want to. If you're playing a game and you just want the safe little points that you know or Montgomery's going to get you, I could see starting him. But if you're struggling a little bit in the week, or you need if you think you need an extra boost, Herbert could be the guy that gives you that.
I agree. It's a
I don't
floor
think
versus
Montgomery's
ceiling
really going to give
question.
you the boost, you know, just
Okay. So I think I would go with Herbert, honestly.
me too. And you just hope that they give him the ball and he's out there.
Okay. So we'll move on to the Jets. Michael Carter, 7 targets last week, 56% snap, 7 carries, 7 targets. He wasn't extremely efficient, 10 fantasy PPR points, but he played 60% of snaps. And James Robinson, on the other hand, only played 22% in his first game with the Jets, obviously. So we're probably going to see at least somewhat of an uptick in that. It seems like J-Rob might come and take like the actual between the tackles away, which is not very valuable to me in fantasy, and Michael Carter will get the receiving down work. It's not amazing, but I think I'd much rather have Michael Carter. How about you?
Yeah, I would also much rather have Michael Carter. He ran good last year.
Yeah,
There's no Brees anymore. They feel comfortable with him. J Rob will come in, but I think he's gonna be like
bruiser.
yeah,
Get those
might
carries
get a
that
couple of
they don't want to
touchdowns.
give
Yeah, if
Carter.
J Rob gets a touchdown and 80 yards, you know it's worth the play. If he doesn't get a touchdown, it's like, you know,
He'll probably be the
but
goal line back though, so he'll
I
have
believe
chances
so.
at touchdowns. But I just think the 7 targets is what is valuable about the Jets' offense. You know.
Absolutely.
So I would definitely roll with Carter. I wouldn't even want to start J. Rob unless I really, really had to. He's a bench player, you know, with a high upside too. A high upside handcuff is what I would call him.
If you have both of those running backs, I would try to trade James Robinson to the previous Brees owner.
Unless that was you.
If you have all,
All right, now we have the Bears, the Bills. Weird, whatever's going on with Devin Singletary and Naheem Hines. I lost Zach Moss at least, but I just don't think Cook's going to get much carry. So Singletary has been the guy there playing 80% of snaps ish, but Hines coming in being a pass catching running back on a team that wants to throw the ball a lot, right?
yeah.
So this week and rest of season, who do you like?
This week, Devin Singletary, rest of season, probably Naheem Hines, because it seems like Devin Singletary is going to take like the bruiser role. I know it sounds stupid. He's a 5'7", 203-pound running back, but he's been out there playing the whole game anyway, so he's already had that role. And Zach Moss is gone, so they have what? James Cook, Devin Singletary, and Naeem Hines.
Yep.
So I believe Naeem Hines is going to get the targets out of the backfield, and Devin Singletary is going to get more of the
Yeah, I would
rushing
much
attempts.
rather have Naheem Hines rest of season, and I would play him this week too, over Singletary.
Yeah, and Hines could even come and just take Singletary's job outright.
I don't think that's going to happen, but I do think that they're going to put Hines in the game, and he might not play a lot of snaps, but it'll be similar to like Khalil Herbert. They're going to put him on the field, and when he's on the field, they're going to try to like get him the ball in space and throw him passes and like do the kind of stuff that they want to do with him. They want to see
Yeah,
what they
Buffalo
got.
is a team that will do that shit. Like
Oh, for sure.
most teams kind of want to wait, and like James Robinson with the Jets last week got like 5 carries. I think Naheem Hines will definitely be out there.
Me too.
35-40% of the snaps.
Oh yeah, easy. All right, so on to the Panthers. In Carolina, we have Devontae Foreman, who has ran for 118 yards 2 weeks in a row, playing around 50, 60% of snaps. With Hubbard, he played 50. Without Hubbard, he played around 70. So we'll say it's about a 50-50 split with him and Hubbard, right? Hubbard played 46. He played 54. That's pretty much exactly what it was. Hubbard's going to take pretty much all the receiving down work, in my opinion. That's fair to say, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So who do you like better this week, and who do you like better rest of the season?
This week, Foreman. Rest of season, Foreman. But in a, I could see Hubbard taking a lot of value away. I usually rather would have the passing.
That's what I'm
back.
saying. Yeah, I think I still would in this situation too.
Yeah, it's really, really close for me.
But the thing is, I don't think PJ Walker is going to dump it off that much. And if he doesn't dump it off that much, then I think I'm kind of talking myself into Foreman. It's not a big gap.
It's not that, it's really not that far, but.
Yeah, I think they're both kind of very similar, and they're both rosterable, stashable. I don't want to start either of them this week against Cincinnati, but if they look good against Atlanta the week after, I would fire whichever one I have up, honestly.
Yeah, when they both played, they scored 30 points combined. When Hubbard didn't play, Foreman scored 30 points by himself. So I believe that there's between 25 and 35 points in their backfield per week. Like combined, I don't know who's going to get it, like where it's all going to go, but they're going to.
It probably won't be 15-15 every week,
No.
It'll be like 20-10, 25-5 sometimes, but other times it will be 15-15. So.
And it could go either way, honestly, per week.
Right, so I think we agree. Foreman, would rather have Foreman in both rest of the season and this week, so pretty good. This one is so interesting to me. Antonio Gibson is just better than Brian Robinson, in my opinion. Like with my eyeballs when I watch them play football, It's just frustrating to me. Why do the Commanders hate Antonio Gibson, Randy?
I have no clue. It bothers me. Like, Antonio Gibson's a guy that I looked at as a DeAndre Swift person. Like,
me too. Not as good, but I did like him.
Comparable to him back.
I mean, he's running back 16 PPR.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the value of Swift in Dynasty right now, and there's no debate. You know what I mean? Like,
no, absolutely not. Like, it's so far.
Right, even with the Swift injury, like he's a huge buy low right now, I feel like.
Yeah, I would love to acquire Antonio Gibson for cheap. I believe in him. I don't know why the Commanders don't, but now they seem like they're going back to throwing the ball. They've thrown the ball 7 times the last 4 weeks.
We have one start with Taylor Heineke, and Taylor Heineke loves Antonio Gibson and Terry McLaurin, so I love that.
It's looking good, so buy him while you can before.
Right, 100%.
Before he has Houston week 11 and Atlanta week 12.
Right, and he'll be in my lineup. What about Brian Robinson? How you feel about Brian Robinson in the same team? Only 8 carries last week, 25% snap share. I don't think he impressed with his work.
Brian Robinson, it's really impressive that he came back after being shot. But
oh yeah,
fantasy running back, I'm not interested in him in redraft. I don't think whatsoever.
I'm not really that interested in him in Dynasty either, to be honest. I mean, he's a decent little piece I would hold on to. I wouldn't cut him or anything crazy, but I wouldn't be trading for him. Yeah, exactly.
If I had Brian Robinson, I'll stash him away and stuff, but I'm definitely not trying to acquire him.
Like, I don't even know if I'd want him as like the throw-in in my trade deal,
Yeah, I'd just be like,
unless he's like all that there was to throw in, that I would. But all right, so Antonio Gibson, is he startable this week against Minnesota?
Yes.
Me too. I definitely agree. All right, last backfield we have, then we have a few quarterbacks: Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Isaiah Pacheco. This is such a difficult. It's literally a 30-30 split. 30-30-30 split with McKinnon right now, I feel like. I have no idea. I really don't. I wouldn't start any of them. I know you love CEH. Talk me into CEH, Randy. He has Tennessee.
CEH would be looking really nice for you if You have 3 running backs on bye.
Yeah, I mean,
That's about the only thing I could say about CEH. He's a running back. He can score. Like, I'm not
he
excited
has
about playing
scored.
him.
He's
Yeah,
definitely
he has
scored.
scored. He doesn't get that much volume. He is like his his usage is comparable to like Antonio Gibson's this season.
Dude has 6 touchdowns through 7 weeks, and he's running back 21 in PPR.
Yeah,
Rough.
really rough road. You're really relying on touchdowns. You're relying on big plays. You're relying on a lot of points coming out of the Chiefs' offense, which is possible. But I'm not
With
feeling great.
there's too many running backs to feed, and they also have Kadarius Toney now too to throw the ball to. So there's just so many mouths to feed. I don't know, man. I get why you
And
would have to
also, I
start
don't.
CEH because I mean,
Yeah,
in your position, especially having CMC and Barkley and botheads, like what are you gonna do?
yeah.
Sucks that we're gonna talk about it on Saturday, but it sucks they traded CMC and he ended up at the same bye week as Barkley. It fucked
That
you
shit's
over, and you didn't
crazy.
even know
I
it
didn't even
until.
realize it until this week. But I
It's
would start
crazy.
CH over Pacheco.
Me too. I would too. I don't love it. You know.
Yeah, I definitely am not in love with the starting CEH.
What about this guy? You in love with Mr. Trevor Lawrence, our first quarterback today? You starting
Yeah,
Trevor Lawrence this week?
yeah,
Juicy matchup.
it is against Las Vegas. They didn't play great last week against Denver, but I think he's gonna have a really big game this week. I'm just locking him into a lineup, even in a one quarterback league.
I 100% agree with you. What about Derek Carr this week after his big dud that I had to start him in our freaking Dynasty League and I lost because of it? 3 whole fantasy points against New Orleans last week, 101 yards passing. What about this week against Jacksonville? He's got a decent little matchup against Jacksonville's defense, but can you trust him out there?
I would do anything that I could to move away from Derek Carr in a one quarterback league.
Anything you could. PJ Walker?
I I would definitely consider PJ
What about
Walker. I mean,
Ellinger?
no, not Ellinger so
I wanted
much.
to see how far we could go.
No, but PJ Walker, I know it might sound crazy, but he scored 15, 17 points the past 2 weeks,
Yeah, I mean,
and that's like numbers that Aaron Rodgers and Derek Carr.
I wouldn't start Derek Carr this week either, trust me. I'm going to be looking for a new backup quarterback in our Dynasty League this offseason, I think. But I got Herbs the rest of the year, so whatever. Okay, so Justin Fields, he's got a huge rushing upside, 8 more carries last week, which means still he's had 7 or more carries every single game this season. He put up 30 fantasy points against Dallas. He has Miami, Detroit, Atlanta, and the Jets coming up. He has such a juicy 4-game stretch. I love Justin Fields this week and rest of the season with his rushing upside. How are you feeling about Justin Fields?
Sam, this is what I expected out of Justin Fields.
I'd start him over Trevor Lawrence. 100% if I had them both, I'd start him over Trevor Lawrence this week.
And I know Chase Claypool isn't like the greatest receiver in the world, but it's a new toy. It's going to free up their offense.
They needed a big receiver, too. They
They
needed
do.
size,
It's
you
not
know?
going to hurt them. Like people make a joke about how like bad they are. I mean, it was really dumb. Someone was like, "They're the stupidest franchise ever." They trade away their best player in Roquan Smith, and they trade a second for Chase Claypool.
Yeah.
So I kind of agreed with them that I don't really get it, but it's going to help the offense and Justin Fields in fantasy, and that's
They
all I
really
really
want to
care
see what's
about.
going on. Yeah, agreed. I love Justin Fields' talent. I love his rushing upside, and I cannot wait to see what it looks like with Chase Claypool. Like, honestly.
Yeah, and Mooney and
Oh, yeah, I love Darnell Mooney, too. I actually kind of like the Bears' offense now, and I can root for
yeah.
Chase Claypool now. He's on a freaking squealer, man.
Imagine if the Bears
Huge.
did what the Jaguars did, and they traded away their James Robinson and David Montgomery to somebody, and then Herbert was just their guy, like ETN's the guy in Jacksonville.
I wish they would have.
I don't think Herbert's as good as ETN, but I think he's better than
Montgomery,
Montgomery, like
right?
enough to. Yeah, I love Justin Fields, just locking him in for sure.
What about Geno this week going up against Arizona's not so great defense? Not horrible, but not so great either. He's played good this
I'm
season.
just insta locking
Is he
Gino.
just a starter if you don't have like one of the
Yep,
top like 5-6 quarterbacks? That
yep,
is.
insta locking. I'm playing him over.
Are you playing more Fields and T Law?
See, like him and Fields are real close.
I'd rather play
Just the
Fields.
rushing upside. I think I would rather play Fields just because he rushes
I'd
the ball
play
more.
Geno over T Law though. I think.
I could definitely see that. He's only disappointed once or twice this season out of 8 weeks.
Once-ish.
Yeah, 7 and
Nobody was starting him week 2, you know?
Yeah.
So
sure.
I don't think anyone was disappointed with those 7 points, but people were probably starting him against Arizona week 6, which also that does bring up a little bit of a question mark. Like 12 points week 6 against Arizona. What's going to be different this time, you know? And now they're at Arizona too. So maybe I would start T-Law over him. It'd be close though. And the last name is Aaron Rodgers, the old man, 38-year-old Aaron Rodgers, coming off a okay game against Buffalo, I guess, with 20 points. He gets Detroit, which is a huge matchup for him. It looks like he might be back to somewhat full strength at receiver. I don't know if Christian Watson's going to play, but Lazard did practice. So how you feeling about Aaron this week?
Well, he better do something this week.
Yeah, this is it. He's got to show us.
I hope he does. I'm gonna sell him for whatever I can. Literally anything. Bag of potato chips.
What, in Dingleberry?
Yeah, it's pretty disrespectful to the MVP quarterback, but
what I mean, you're talking about a dynasty league, and he's 38 years old and not playing the greatest right now, you know?
Yeah.
So I can understand why you would. But I don't know what you're going to get for him or who's going to buy him, but good luck.
Yeah,
I'll give you a 4th round pick for him.
Sold.
Let's see. Oh, we're playing each other. Good thing you know I won't play. You know I won't start Aaron Rodgers against you.
Oh, that's a 23 4th too. Oh, that's nice.
Am I the new proud owner of Aaron Rodgers, dude?
You might be.
Oh, shit. All right, anything else for the video today? Ready to get the fuck out of here? Tomorrow we're going to have receivers and tight ends fringe starts and whatever other crazy news comes out of the NFL. So check out our video
busy. Hopefully tomorrow. No more injuries.
Yeah, for sure. But there probably will be. You know how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. So, yep, check out our video tomorrow, and we will see you then.